Greetings, lamp bearers. Earlier this week, we released our 2023 free content roadmap, showcasing the ongoing optimizations and enhancements we'll be making to Lords of the Fallen, as well as the updates based on community feedback that will be dropping on the upcoming months. Today's weekly update introduces over 100 significant tweaks and improvements across the board. Alongside this, it also includes the first inventory expansion pass, a full revamp for the Sundered Monarch boss encounter, online functionality for Steam Deck, further HDR improvements, and we're also very pleased to confirm key quest items will no longer be affected by inventory limitations. As requested by some of you, we've also added the option to hide damage numbers on the HUD for a more immersive experience. Previously, unique items couldn't be picked up when the inventory was full. Now key quest items and unique items will be picked up even if the inventory is full. Exceeding the inventory limit is necessary. This applies to keys, spells, quest items, ammo types, gestures, etc. This change should also resolve any potential issues with quest lines where a required item couldn't be picked up due to an inventory full message. Additionally, starting from patch 1.310, if the inventory is full, the items will drop to the ground so they can be picked up later. Please note that the stash expansion is still in progress and will be available later this year. HDR has been further tweaked to provide an even wider range of colors. Online functionality is now fully operational on Steam Deck. Steam Deck no longer crashes when the Scarlet Shadow spawns, so it's back on Steam Deck. Valve's drivers should automatically update when you start the game. Fixed a crash that could occur when accessing the Shrine of Aureus when switching to offline mode. Fixed a crash that could occur when quitting to the main menu while being in a multiplayer session. Fixed a blocker that could prevent players from finishing the game with the Umbral ending. Optimized certain actors in the game to increase performance in several areas. Optimized performance in Skyrest by reducing cast shadows without reducing visual quality. Optimized performance in Upper Calrath Marketplace Square by reducing cast shadows without reducing visual quality. Optimized performance in Castle Bramus while being in Umbral. Optimized performance in Penitent Path by reducing cast shadows without reducing visual quality. Optimized performance in Skyrest Bridge by reducing cast shadows without reducing visual quality. Optimized performance in the Manse area by reducing cast shadows without reducing visual quality. Optimized performance in Red Corpse Church by reducing cast shadows without reducing visual quality. Optimized performance for Wither entity spawning without reducing visual quality. Optimized performance in Lower Calrath by reducing cast shadows without reducing visual quality. Optimized collision meshes in Lower Calrath Bridge area to reduce collision counts and increase performance. Fixed an issue with fog walls that would allow players to leave a Crimson Ritual area. Added music to Crimson Rituals to increase tension in PvP. Improved the UI for finishing Crimson Rituals. Added additional descriptions for failed connections for Crimson Rituals. Stomping on drowners, hounds, and sparrows now instantly kills them. Braided Ring. Summoned allies can use more ranged attacks before disappearing. The ring used to add +5, but now adds +10 with this change. Pendant of Atrophy. Umbral sorceries can be cast with insufficient mana, but at the cost of wither damage. Equipping this amulet now also reduces your wither health regain rate when you deal damage. Withered health cost increased. Umbral Eye of Loesch. While charging a heavy attack, all damage is received as wither damage and your posture cannot be broken. Equipping this eyeball now also reduces your wither health regain rate when you deal damage. Umbral Eye of Lydia the Numb Witch. Use ranged weapons without ammunition but at the cost of withered health. Equipping this amulet now also reduces your wither health regain rate when you deal damage. Hurt reactions sometimes triggered in the wrong direction. This is now fixed. Now the trio in the dark spot waits more diligently for the player to be at the exact arena space before triggering the whole combat. The Sundered Monarch boss encounter has received a full revamp and, as a result, it is more challenging. Achieved without tweaking his HP or damage output, pure behavioral upgrade. It's tougher. Improved the hitboxes of the following bosses to better support throwable weapons. Dervla, Sundered Monarch, Light Reaper, Cleric, Hushed Saint, Reinhold, and Spurned Progeny. Enhance the combat camera behavior to prevent looking down when being close to a target. Light Reaper could sometimes get out of bounds in one of the encounters, leading to him just leaving the fight. Adjusted the trigger areas for the Skin Stealer boss to prevent the player from hitting him from a distance without his reaction. Adjusted and added leashing volumes. Received additional leashing volumes and added new ones. Added leashing volumes for all enemies at the cistern. Also adjusted 2 triggers to account for edge cases in which enemies would be unresponsive if you traverse the level backward. Improved nav mesh and collisions of Forsaken Fen where the fallen tree is. Changed nav link position for better navigation going down one of the platforms of Pilgrim's Perch. Added nav modifier volumes to avoid the AI from taking a dangerous path and getting stuck in the cellar of the manse. Added nav modifier volumes to prevent umbral enemies from getting stuck with collisions in the cellar at the manse of the Hallowed Brothers. Added additional AI blocking volumes at Red Cops to avoid umbral enemies spawning above dangerous collisions. We want our AIs to be safe or they might resort to their syndicate against our level designers. Adjusted spawning boxes for the enemy encounter before the Lamp Hunter area at Fitzroy's Gorge. Applying wither damage to Fortunatrix enemies sometimes did not cause them to trigger aggro on the player. Now they always react properly. Further refinement of leashing volumes in Upper Calrath's Big Plaza encounter. Adjusted and added leashing volumes at the Skyrest Bridge. Adjusted and added leashing volumes at the Pilgrim's Perch upper area. Added leashing volumes for all enemies at the Empyrean. Adjusted and added leashing volumes in Bramus Castle. New leashing pass on different enemies and encounters in Lower Calrath. New leashing pass on different enemies and encounters at Fitzroy's Gorge. The Chaser could use some floating nav mesh at Red Cops Village. Nav mesh has been cleaned. Second pass on leashing volumes for Red Cops, Pilgrim's Perch, Forsaken Fen, Fief of the Chill Curse, Tower of Penance, and Bramus Castle. Manse of the Hallowed Brothers had a new leashing pass on different enemies and encounters. Pieta now plays her upgraded Sanguinarix animation with better alignment, regardless of the action the player was doing before interacting. Corrected a nav mesh on Upper Calrath for improved AI navigation. Tweaked the distance of Soulflay versus UI icon. In some cases, the interaction icon appeared, but the Soulflay was not triggering the desired effect. Now they match in all cases. Fixed offsetted particles that could sometimes occur on Soulflayable umbral bellies, containers. Fixed offsetted particles that could sometimes occur on Soulflayable doors. Fixed a bug in which Axiom items would sometimes fall through the umbral ground under certain conditions while transitioning, making them only pickable in Axiom. Abbey of Hallowed Sisters tweaked existing outer collision boxes to ensure they match the invasion fog walls. Empyrean tweaked existing outer collision boxes to ensure they match the invasion fog walls. This follows a code request to improve disconnection during host-invader connection. Lower Calrath tweaked existing outer collision boxes to ensure they match the invasion fog walls. This follows a code request to improve disconnection during host-invader connection. Bramus Castle tweaked existing outer collision boxes to ensure they match the invasion fog walls. Adjusted umbral platforms so players won't get stuck between them in Bramus Castle. Fixed a collision bug in Forsaken Fen to prevent skipping of Hush Saint. Fixed some asset collisions in Lower Calrath, making it possible both to clip and blocking the player from getting to the other side. Change collision presets for different blocking volumes that allowed projectiles to pass through in Red Cops' church catacombs. Made the rotating stairs player collisions taller in Bramus Castle. Collision tweaks in Forsaken Fen, near the vestige of the Pale Butcher. Sunless Skein had some collisions that would not let projectiles pass in some narrow spaces. These have been fixed. Bramus Castle has seen 2 places adjusted to prevent the player from getting stuck under certain conditions. Bramus Castle collision fixes for an umbral bridge when transitioning from Axiom. Fief of the Chill Curse has seen some tweaked collisions in the cannon for smoother navigation. Blocker fixed in Lower Calrath in the Smelter Tower, where the player was getting stuck in a small area. The player could get in and out of the game at the Abbey of the Hallowed Sisters and get a bit stuck. Also, it could get floaty and have collision issues due to collisions, so blocking volumes were added to improve and block. In Abbey of the Hallowed Sister, there was a corpse with the wrong collision. The collision has been removed and placed manually with structure detail so it doesn't block the pickup. In the cistern, an AI could get on top of the collision and get stuck while doing the charge attack. There is a spot in Lower Calrath where the player can get stuck a bit due to a corpse on top of a table with Block All Collision preset. The collision preset has been changed to structure detail, and now the player can move freely at that spot. The waterfall cave at Pilgrim's Perch had a rock with block all that messed with the player's navigation. The collision preset has been changed to structure detail so it doesn't interfere with navigation, but the player can't overlap with the rock. Added blocking volumes to Fitzroy's Gorge to improve nav mesh and prevent enemies from getting stuck after falling in certain places. Thief of the Chill Curse fix for collisions on the canyon sublevel. Mance of the Hallowed Brothers has received an additional lighting pass to add extra detail with no performance impact. Red Cops Village has received an additional lighting pass to add extra detail with no performance impact. Lower Calrath has received an additional lighting pass to add extra detail with no performance impact. Forsaken Fen has received an additional lighting pass to add extra detail with no performance impact. Pilgrim's Perch has received an additional lighting pass to add extra detail with no performance impact. Lighting in Red Cop's Church Crypt has been fixed to eliminate the visible leaking in one of the tunnels caused by a spotlight. This was resolved by fine-tuning the fall-off of the light without any additional cost. There was a vista at the Thief of the Chill Curse that triggered fog too early. Fix the missing lantern dynamics during cinematics when cleansing the beacon at the Thief of the Chill Curse. A small camera clipping issue during Dervla's second phase cinematics has been resolved. Removed a couple of nails that were obstructing the camera view during Dervla's phase 2 cutscene. We've resolved the issue where the Empyrean area name wouldn't appear on screen when entering the area. Addressed a problem causing significant delays when quitting to the main menu under certain circumstances. In response to community feedback, you now have the option to disable damage output numbers from the settings menu. Fix the bug that prevented players from buying more than one unique item from the faction shrines, the Chrysalis purchase bug plus Duralium chunk. All endings now correctly display the unlocked class. Previously, in some cases, it would continue showing the Radiant Purifier, even when unlocking the correct one. Key rebindings and language selections will no longer reset after each version update. Enhanced ambiance transitions in Mance, Tower of Penance, Pilgrim's Perch, and Forsaken Fen. Lastly, the studio announced that work has begun to allow character appearance recustomization in-game, and this is slated to be released within the year. This will come with its own mini-quest to unlock, and is something that wasn't mentioned in yesterday's roadmap reveal.